What for you is the hardest part of teaching young children?
I suppose organisation things. Sometimes you'll plan something for them and you'll think that it's going to work and it doesn't. It just depends on the children. And then other times you think, oh, it might not have been as well planned, but it seems to work much better. So I think predicting on what they're going to be like, that's hard.
How does art help kids who have never done it to learn it when they're young? So if some kid has had no experience with it, no exposure, how do they normally react to it?
I find probably children that have trouble with things, I think the biggest problem that they probably have is the creativity side, the coming to terms with the fact that they can be creative, they can do, within the framework of what they're doing, they can choose how to represent something or how themselves, and so sometimes they struggle with freedom, I suppose, of being creative and not being told how it has to look, or sometimes children struggle with that. Some children don't have any confidence. So. But it might also be interesting to let them do one first and then go back to the steps and do another one also. Sometimes you don't know what their skills are until you've seen them. They might surprise you, So if you did it, let them do it, and then you can talk about proportions and things like that. But that's just an idea.
Do you think that the kids will stay engaged if it's something that they've never done and art is new to them? Do you think it'll be something more that they're really excited about and they want to keep going even if it's not always super interesting and one-on-one, or do you think that they'll lose interest?
I think if they've probably never done it before, that they will probably be interested. I have some puzzles there of portraits, different portraits that I got them to do before we started, so if you want to borrow those, you're welcome to.
Okay. So that could be a sort of introductory activity?
Yeah. That only takes a little while, but I think, it probably, if they've never done art before or they're a little bit unsure, it's a nice way to establish some sort of relationship with them, and they might not freak out and think, oh, what are we going to do? Are we going to be, I don't know what their history is. So.
And one last question. Why did you get into teaching art?
I was a classroom teacher for most of my teaching career, and I always had a passion for art and used to always do a lot of artwork with the children that I taught in the younger years, and then I used to go and do workshops myself on different printing or clay or whatever myself, so I sort of moved into it from that perspective. But also I think you see a different side of children in art to the classroom. The children who don't do so well in the classroom can come to art and flourish, and they leave behind the stigmas that they have in the classroom that they might have been labelled with as, it doesn't really matter in art. They can still
there's no right answers.
Yeah, they can still be successful or experience pleasure or whatever. So I think that's a really nice side of being in education, all different perspectives.
Are there any last tips that you can share just for teaching younger kids?
Flexibility.
Okay.
And, with young children, things are not always going to go to plan, so you just have to run with that. And sometimes you can be over-planned and, and sometimes you feel like you're under-planned, but kids are kids, so especially the younger kids, they're a little bit unpredictable, so a sense of humour and flexibility.
That's good.